I'm going to share my testimony with you about how I left Islam to Christianity. Since I was 4, I started to learn how to pray. But not only pray 5 times a day, but the extra ones. I attended all kind of mosques in my life, even more so the more I grew in my faith. I was considering more and more to wear hijab. Early in my teenage years, we started to immigrate to Europe. And during that immigration process, I've seen all kind of pain. When you, with a smuggler, not only you paying them, you give them your whole life. They can do whatever they want with you. You have all kind of stories of smugglers selling you organs, doing unbelievable with the female body. You understand what I mean? It's not a trick. It's literally your life on the line. I went through it. I've seen jail twice in my life. During that time, I've seen all kind of evil people. I've seen mafias. But through it all, I kept holding on to my faith. My mother came to me and she said, "Shall we go to that church this Sunday?" And I looked at her. I was like, "What are you telling me? Why you want me to go to a church?" Like, fine, we can go. So I went there, and when I went to church, we did not need to look in a specific direction. We did not take our shoes off. There was a sense of peace that caught my attention, a sense of friendliness that caught my attention. I started to open the Bible to prove that it's wrong, that it's corrupt, that it's changed, that Jesus is just a prophet. So I started to study the Bible. But the more I studied the Bible, the more I got to know who Christ is, the more I got to know what the salvation actually means, who this Jesus is, the more evidence I came across, historical evidence, actual evidence, proof that is actually true and that is that Jesus was here and got crucified, and 3 days later he got resurrected. While on in Surah chapter 4 verse 157, it says that they will never kill him. They got someone who looked like him. He was never crucified. I was reading hadith a lot, and I was reading on a lot. Nowhere near is being talked about Jesus this way, in this manner. At some point it got very difficult for me, because the more I studied with Christianity, the more it spoke for itself, for it to be truth. Me and my family were all put in one small room. I didn't have a sense of privacy. The only place that I could have a sense of privacy is in the shower. So one day I was in the shower and I got a complete breakdown, because I said to God, I was like, "Allah, I don't know if I'm supposed to pray to Muhammad or I'm supposed to pray to Jesus. I don't know who am I supposed to follow, because they fighting against each other. My deen in Islam, it wasn't just faith that I was practicing more than 5 times a day. No, it was my whole being. How I view life is everything to me. So I was like, now that part of me is shaking and I'm not sure what am I supposed to do about it. So I went to God and I was like, "God, if this Jesus of yours is real, if he's who he is to claim to be, let him in my life. I just want to meet him. Just let him in my life. If he's actually who he is, let him come to my life." And then the next day I woke up and nothing happened. The only difference is I opened my Bible not to try to prove that it's wrong, but just to read it. And that's where everything changed for me, because the more I got to read in the gospel and the more I got to read the good news, my perspective about life changed completely. I was able to forgive people who had done the most horrific, inhuman stuff to us. I was able to move on. I became more honest. I had a sense of peace that nothing and nobody ever could get me that. Not close.